Okay, next is missing value. When you have a missing value, measurement that is left blank, or sometimes they are coded as 99999. So that would be an indication that that's a missing value. Okay, that's sometimes, more often than not, people use that to indicate that a value is not available. So now the question is, how do you handle missing values? Okay, one possible approach is if you have a missing value, then you throw that observation out. Okay. So handling missing values, drop an observation that contains a missing value in one or more columns. Okay. It's not a good idea, because even if you have 5% missing values spread all over, okay, you may end up, they're all in different rows. You could theoretically, you may end up throwing out like 80 to 90% of the observations out. Then you don't have any rows left for our analysis. So, so that's not a good idea. But if the number of missing values are very few and you're not losing a lot of rows, then okay, you can throw them out. But if you're going to lose a lot of rows, then don't do that. Okay, drop if the predictor is not a crucial variable. Suppose if you have a predictor, a column, a variable that has lots of missing values, and it's not a great variable for us to use, then throw that variable out. Instead of throwing observations, throw that column out. Okay, so that may be a good idea. Okay. Or what you can do, you can try to figure out what would be the most reasonable value for that missing value, and then insert in the missing value place that reasonable value. So this process is called imputing. Impute a reasonable value to the missing data. So one possibility is that if it's a missing value, then you take the average of that column and put the average there. Okay, that's one possible way of imputing. Okay, it's better than leaving it out, but it's not a great way because it is going to reduce the variability in the column. Okay, or you can insert the median value. Okay, another approach, which is a little more complicated, is to look at other columns corresponding with that missing value, and based on the other columns, try to figure out what this value could be for this profile. So it's a little more complicated, and that would be the most preferable approach, except that it will be computationally intensive. Okay. So if the predictor is important, it has too many missing values, look for a proxy variable. So if you have experience in place of age, if you don't have age has lots of missing values, so instead of age, use experience. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to look for missing values and how to do imputing. Okay. And for that, say right now, there are no missing values in the data. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on purpose, create some missing values, and then we'll examine them. Okay. So create a temporary data frame with missing values. Okay. So we're going to do rows to missing. Okay. So we'll generate sample, okay, row names, housing DF, okay, and how many we want? We want 10 of them. Okay, so we're just randomly going to select 10 rows. Okay. And then let's create a temporary data set. Okay, let's call it temp.df. Okay, temporary data frame, right? So we don't mess up the housing df. Housing df will remain as is. Okay. And then we will put for the rows to missing, okay, and bedroom, NA is the keyword for missing. Okay, now run that. I missed a dollar sign there. Okay. All right, so now we have 10 of them are missing values. So now how do we look for missing values? Okay, summary will tell you what the missing values are. So if you do a summary, we did this before. Summary temp df, run that. Okay. So if there is missing value, okay, it will tell you how many missing values are there. So NAs. Or you can do row sums too. If you do, column sums. You can do column sums and check. Okay, is it missing? Column sums is missing, then it will add up all the missing values in the column and tell you what it is. Okay. Now select the rows with missing values. Okay. How do you select the rows with missing values? Okay. Again, you housing df. Okay. You say is NA temp.df. Okay. Well, again, we can sum this. Okay, so that's going to sum each row. The values will be converted into is NA or not, true or false. Then you sum them, and then if it is greater than 0, then there is a missing value in that row. So this is going to convert each value into a missing value, true or false, like we did before, true or false, true or false. And then row sums will just sum it up, okay. And if it is 0, then there are no missing values in the row. If it is not 0, if it is greater than 0, then we have missing value. So here are the missing value rows.
So mine is different from what's over
here. Yeah, because if I had done set here, when we did the rows to missing, we had set seed, then it will be the same. Okay, so then it will be the same. Okay, finally, how do you impute? Okay, so impute will be like you take the temp df. We know that it is in bedrooms only. okay, then you say is NA So this is going to look at the bedrooms column, okay, and then check whether a value is missing or not. Is NA? Is it NA? Okay, if it is not NA, don't worry. If it is NA, then you say, okay, I want it to be the median, for example. So median will be, okay, temp df of bedrooms. Okay. Now this is not going to work because what will happen is median, if there is a missing value in the column, median will return missing value as the median. Okay. So missing value will get replaced with missing value. It's just not going to. So what we need to do is to say NARM, so that means missing value remove is true. Okay, so then missing values will be removed, then the median will get computed, and you will put median wherever there is a missing value, the median will get replaced. Median will be put in its place. So now if you do the summary, now you see bedrooms, it does not have any missing value. Okay. Instead of median, if you want mean, then you just put mean here. Right? Put mean and run it. So it'll compute the mean. And remember, make sure that you don't forget adding that part. Because if there are missing values, all of these computations will return missing values back to you as the result. So you need to make sure that you say missing value should be ignored. Okay. So this is how you'll impute missing value. And I just showed you one column, and you have to repeat this for other columns that contain missing values.